Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have John Harrison on the line. He's CEO over at SGH Consulting. John, welcome to the show.
Adam, thank you very much for inviting me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, so just to get us started, let's start. I'm excited to get into today's topic, by the way, being open to change in business. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into SGH Consulting. Tell us a little bit more about the business, please.
Yeah, so SGH Consulting really was created to help small business owners, as I was one, and I learned an awful lot about how to make mistakes. and I think we all know that learning things, moving forward in a positive manner is all based from making mistakes. It's not the mistakes that you make, it's just how you recover from them and how you learn your lessons and hopefully how you never repeat those. So taking that and the experience that I have, which is from the tea and coffee industry, originally started with Lotus and Aston Martin in the UK as an electrical engineer, and somehow ended up over here in America running my own businesses and really put all that experience together to help people that may not have the experience that I have, and I can really come to them in a humble, equal way instead of kind of a, here I am, this kind of big consulting person that is kind of, coming to your doorstep with maybe an arrogant attitude, which I definitely don't have. I share all my mistakes and really show them how I have been able to learn from them and so on, like I said.
What are, so there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives listening right now. What are typically is there any particular industry or type of entrepreneur or fit that's typically a good fit for SGH Consulting?
Well, actually, yes, because I have come from the tea industry. My family in the UK were involved in the tea industry. They actually started in 1863. On my mother's side of the family, and so I was kind of pushed, let's do the tea industry together, John, and as a young man you kind of want to do things your own way, so I went engineering and came out of engineering and realized that I should probably have listened to my parents, that they had a lot of experience, and then I ended up getting into the tea industry, lived in India for a year, traveled all over China for another year, and ended up with my company here in San Diego, importing tea from 36 different countries. Along the way, I picked up coffee as well and was importing green coffee beans and helping people all over the country with that. So that is my kind of staple, my background, the beverage industry. Moved into RTDs as well, ready to drink. So helped people with formulations and setting up their supply chain. And actually helping them with negotiations on credit terms and, helping them jump on the back of the relationships that I had personally built with hundreds and hundreds of different suppliers and letting them take the experience and relationships I had and put them into their own business. I never minded actually sharing all of that. So kind of helping people with coffee and tea in many different applications, whether it be cafes, hotels, restaurants, even private labeling, your dry product, or like I mentioned, ready-to-drink products, and getting them into grocery stores or online, really helping people get a foot up in the right way and kind of learning, as I said, from all the mistakes that I made. I eventually found the correct channels, and it was wonderful to share my correct channels with people that were, looking to get into these avenues, and nothing better than watching people succeed, I can tell you.
No, that's amazing. And speaking and considering today's show topic, so being open to change in business, I noticed that through your career and some of the things like using your personal experience, I've already saw some of your philosophy on being open to change and how it's worked in your life. I mean, where do you want to start with this topic? So what do you think that business owners or entrepreneurs out there should know about being open to change in business?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're a small business owner, you have already devised a way that you feel is the right way to do things. Now, being humble and understanding that maybe that isn't working and having a little bit of self-reflection, being, open to change is something that's very important. If you're continuing down one road that isn't working and you feel that, the answer is to just push harder down that one road, sometimes that can just really close your business faster than giving you success. So being open, listening, and kind of humbling yourself to maybe some of the things that you've come up with aren't the best ways to push your business in the right direction. So being open to change really comes in so many different ways. Listening to a consultant like myself that has experience in that avenue and showing you how you can change so many things that you probably can't see at the moment. We do tend to get blinkered, get down that one alley, and you're not really open to so many different ideas. And the reason for that is probably a lot of stress, a lot of strain, a lot of debt, a lot of financial contributions that you may be missing on a monthly basis. And along with that comes your own life, personal life, marriage, children, obligations with rent or mortgage. So, when we start to talk about being open to change, some of these very small changes can have an extremely large impact on, number one, your business, which then will ripple effect into your personal life. So that is the number one key to possibly saving yourself, saving your business and everything that goes with it, is being open to small changes, then looking at the results of those small changes and maybe fanning them out just a little bit more. I've actually worked with lots of companies that have literally told me, John, we probably have 1 month and we're closing our doors. And to be honest with you, those are the ones that I get the absolute most gratification from because we do have some great success stories of helping people, making them open to change, putting some small, very simple things into effect that, as I mentioned, they probably didn't think of, and saving their business.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
Great. We've gone from small changes of just finding out who all of their debt commitments are with. I get on the phone with them. I talk to their banks, their creditors, their credit card people, and a lot of people don't realize that they're just people too. They're in business. Just because it says in a contract that you have to pay X amount on X day doesn't necessarily mean that you do have to pay X amount on X day. Actually talking to them, telling them the situation, this is where I am, this is where I can probably make the next payment, is way better than ignoring it and just waiting for it to create a worse situation. So
man,
really
that is so well said, John. I'm sitting here thinking to me, I had chills. You're like, you actually help people keep their doors open. I mean, it's an amazing service you're doing, and really just and taking your experience and sharing and really teaching people how to operate within that space. Like you're essentially compressing the time that it takes for them to learn the business to what you've essentially done for what you've had in generational. I mean, for you, it's generational. So I always tend to think it feels a little bit different when you're born into something and you've got other people that you can lean on, and you just have some other, and I mean for information, by the way, and insight and guidance. So to be able to have that, now you're essentially passing that on to your clients too. Like, that's an amazing thing to do. So, John, that being said, I know we barely scratched the surface on this topic today, and we can go on this all day long, but we're about out of time for this episode. So that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about SGH Consulting or working with you and your team, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Well, the best way is to go to our website, which is sghconsultinguk.com. I put UK because I did actually help people in the UK to begin with, but I've lived in America now for nearly 17 years, and everything is based here. So it really rolled over. sghconsultinguk.com. Or you can actually just drop me an email at sghconsultinguk@gmail.com. I decided to just keep a regular Gmail address. I try to keep things simple. The simpler things are, the bigger effect I can actually have on my clients.
Love it. I love it. No, it's great stuff. So, John, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at SGH Consulting to help you and your clients help their clients. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave some comments on the video. Love to know what you thought and what kind of businesses and projects you're working on. And John, thanks again for coming on the show.